Hello guys, my name is Dane and the For Honor closed beta has just ended. I was lucky enough to get a chance to play this during this weekend and I just enjoyed everything about it. I've been waiting for this game ever since the info was first released to the public, and I gotta say I'm thoroughly pleased by it. I know it's a closed beta and there's things that are due to change and there was a few bugs, but hey, it's a beta, that's why they're putting out a beta. So in case you don't know what For Honor is, this is a melee skill-based combat game, basically. If you think medieval combat or War of the Roses, but just, well, I would like to say that it's way more skill-based. There's 3 different factions: Vikings, Knights, and Samurais. But you're not limited to playing only Samurais if you choose the Samurai faction. You can change in between all of the factions and all of the heroes as you please, and if you play with a friend, he can be a knight or a Viking while you're a samurai. You don't have to be the same exact factions on each of the teams, luckily, because I just enjoy samurais. One of my friends really loved the knights and the other one just enjoys Vikings a hell of a lot. So I'm enjoying this, that we get to play the way that we want, just together with our friends, if we want to play with our friends, because there's different game modes. There's 1 versus 1 duels, 2 versus 2, 4 versus 4 brawls, and then there's also a Dominion game mode. There's 2 points you gotta capture and control for a ticket bleed if you play Battlefield. You gotta keep these points. The longer you keep them, the more you get points, and if the more points you have, the more points you get. And then there's also like the middle combat area with all of the AI, the NPCs that are easily killed, but they go backwards and forwards, and you can help claim that spot, that point, by killing the enemy AI. Now, I started out playing a lot 1 versus 1 duels against AI because I really wanted to get a feel for each of the classes, each of the heroes. I really wanted to kind of get into it before I just got slaughtered in multiplayer against other players. So I played like the first 3 hours against AI just to figure out which class do I like. And to me it came down to one specific class that I then ended up mastering, if I do say so myself. The Orochi assassin class from the Samurai. I'm just enjoying him. He is so freaking good. I'm not gonna say that, oh, I'm invincible, but out of all of the 1 versus 1 duels I had against players, I won all of them except 2, and I had a lot. And there was even times in Dominion when I was keeping a point continuously from the onslaught of enemy heroes just respawning in. Like, I had a streak where I just killed 3 or 4 enemy heroes right after one another continuously while keeping a point until my own team got up there. The mistake I did in the beginning of the Dominion game mode as the Orochi class was I was up front. I was between all of the AI trying to help get that point, and I was rushing into combat. But that's not the Orochi class. It's an assassin, it's swift. I had to go off to the sides. I had to just capture the points and try and be skillful up there in 1 versus 1. And this is one thing that you really gotta be mindful of. I'm sure that if you're good enough, you can take on 2 at a time, but it's really difficult. You really have to be one-on-one to be the most efficient. And I also think that's the only way that I actually kept one of these points was because I didn't battle 2 at a time. As soon as I killed 1, the next one was there ready to take me on. And I gotta say, the rush, the adrenaline from that was awesome. I'm in love with this. I did not think that I would grow so much in love with this game as I have. I'm enjoying the 1 versus 1. I haven't really tried 2 versus 2 or the 4 versus 4 duels, but I've tried Dominion and 1 versus 1, and I enjoyed it a whole lot. Of course, in Dominion you really gotta communicate with your team. A lot of the time I was trying to keep a point, but I was on my own because everybody was playing team deathmatch in the middle of the map. And then suddenly they all died, and then I was the only one facing 3 or 4 enemies. So you really gotta be a team player if you wanna play Dominion. But where it all shined, in my opinion, and where this game has got a whole lot of potential of being a very competitive game, maybe on the esports scene, is the 2 versus 2 and 1 versus 1 duels. Maybe the 4 versus 4. I don't know that much because I haven't really tried that much. I really wanted to do 2 versus 2 and 4 versus 4 with people that I could communicate with well, but I just couldn't do it that well in game with others. Like, nobody was responding at all. So 1 versus 1 and Dominion was where it was kind of at for me. And I said in 1 versus 1 I was just dominating. But I gotta say, players are easier to deal with than the AI bots, because the bots would more frequently than not just instantly block your attack wherever it came from, just instantaneously. Whereas players are less, how should we say, skillful at that. Like, they are trying combinations, they are attacking from all different sides, which is the way you gotta do it. But you really gotta be quick, have quick response time to block the enemy. And I love the combo system of this game too. There's different ways to play your character, and there's different stances you can take that will help your combat a lot. And then there's different side steps, attacks, backstep attacks, advancing attacks. There's so much. I like to say that there's so many combo techniques, but there's like, I think around 10. And then you can just key them as you please, and you can of course do just regular attacks where you switch in between from the vertical position and the right or left horizontal position attack. Oh yeah, another thing that I also like, the customization of your character. You get armor or items, weapons, hilts, handles, blades, shields that you can customize. You can upgrade these so they fit your playstyle. Like, one does more damage but has less defense, or the other one is the other way around. It has more defense but less damage. Some of the classes you can customize whether you want it to be a male or female, but not all of them. And then it's basically just the paint style of your character, the items of your character, the ornaments, the armor, the sigils, stuff like that. That's the only things you can customize, but I still feel like that this brings a whole lot of personalization into the game. Like, I love to see progress on my character. That's why I've never been able to get into a game that you start over every single time. Like, you do not get better items. You have to buy them during the game, and when the game is over, you have to start from scratch again when you start up. I don't like that. I want to see that if I've been playing my Orochi class for a whole lot of time and I've been upgrading all of his stuff, that he's gonna be better at those things because I've been customizing him to it. I've been putting my time and effort into that character. So I really like that aspect of the game too. I like the matchmaking system. A lot of the time I got a fight to the bone. Like, I really had to focus a whole lot to win this round, but I really enjoyed it. But I gotta say, sometimes it felt like there was a bit of lag, that even though I was blocking at the right side, or I successfully blocked, at least it was showing on my screen that I successfully blocked, somehow I still took the full damage as if I hadn't blocked. So I think there's a problem with the peer-to-peer setup system. I really hope they fix this. I think this is the same problem that was at the beginning of Rainbow Six Siege, which they have fixed by now from what I've heard. I don't play that game. I've been thinking about picking it up, but I think there was a bit of lag, and I didn't really enjoy it that much when it happened, because sometimes I really felt like I was cheated. It was unfair when that happened. And of course, people could say that, oh, you're just using an excuse because you suck. I mean, fair enough, if I plainly suck, if I was the inferior player, then I don't mind losing because there's nothing I could have done. But when the game shows and you pressed all of the buttons in the time that it was supposed to happen, and there was this lag on your computer, on your screen it happened, but apparently on the server it didn't happen, then that's a bit of a downside to me. And another thing, this is just with the regular combat. You can, in 1 versus 1, well, in general, all around in all of the maps, there's areas where you can push people either into the environment or off the map, basically. And fair enough, this adds a bit of more skill, that you have to avoid these areas and you have to push people out of there. But sometimes I still feel like that a duel could end a bit too fast. Like, if I did a perfect side sweep from the beginning of a round, did a perfect side sweep, and I then pushed him off the ledge, and I won within 10 seconds. I kind of feel like that's unfair. Then again, it adds a bit of skill that you really have to be careful of that, and you really have to be mindful of those areas. But still, that's, yeah. That part I didn't really like. But overall, besides that, I'm really liking For Honor. It's been a positive experience for me, and I can't wait for the full release. I am getting this. I don't know how much of this I will include on my channel. I will be bringing up the best kills and the best duels and the best moments of my closed beta in another different video, so you guys can see some of the moments I was talking about with awesome skill involved, and where I was just dominating the enemy team. I was keeping an objective to myself against 4 players continuously. I will have a video coming up of that too, but I don't know how much I will include this on my channel, because it's not really first-person shooter, which is basically what my channel is about. But I do know that I will be streaming a whole lot of this. And that's basically it, guys. I don't really have that much else to say about the closed beta. I was thoroughly surprised positively. And there wasn't really that many downsides, only like the kicking off a ledge and the fact that sometimes I felt that it was a bit laggy. Oh yeah, controller. I couldn't for the life of me use a controller. I could only use the keyboard and a mouse, because when I used the controller it just felt weird, and for some reason I couldn't customize, I couldn't remap the controller settings. That might have been a bug on my part, but I really want to be able to customize the controller settings for this game. Then I might pick up a controller for this. But throughout this entire beta I was more or less just playing with a keyboard and a mouse. So yeah, but besides that I don't really have that many negative things to say about the game. I was thoroughly pleased, I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the full release of the game. I am getting my hands on it. I would like to see what they would add in the future. I can't wait to see what kind of classes they're gonna add, what kind of heroes, and what kind of maps they're gonna add, because the beauty of this game is just phenomenal. And then it's basically just the peer-to-peer that I want fixed, and maybe not so many drop-off points or environmental kills available throughout the map, because I do feel like there's a whole lot of them. But then again, that adds to the skill gap. So yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Do let me know what you think about For Honor in general, and if you played the closed beta, do let me know what you think of it and what your favorite faction and your favorite hero was. And do tell me some of your most epic and awesome moments, because I'll be showing a lot of mine in an upcoming video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.